Being perceived is not the same thing as being understood. To be perceived is to be interpreted by someone, but to be understood is to fully be taken in by someone, for someone to truly see you for everything that you are. While I believe that can be the case sometimes, I don't think it's likely that very many people in this world will fully understand you, will fully see you for everything that you are. Maybe even the case for some people, no one will fully understand who they are. So in this episode, I'm going to discuss why I think no one will ever fully, truly be understood, and how it's important to learn to understand yourself so outside perceptions don't shake you. Hey guys, welcome back to Hush. I'm Talking Babe, where I talk and you listen. Hello everybody, how are we today? I'm so grateful that my last episode blew up a little. You know, I think it's around 200 views right now. It's not a million views or nothing, but I went from like 10 views to 200 views. And all because I decided to post a video on TikTok talking about what an awkward black girl is. People received it. People felt like they could relate to it. And the fact that in that comment section, so many people related and they decided, I'm going to go and listen to this podcast. I'm eternally grateful for it. That was the whole reason of me making a podcast in the first place, to find a community of people who relate to the same things that I'm going through, to have someone who has thought a lot about these things, and I feel like I can give some sort of insight to others, or the way I talk, people can listen. And I do feel like, not to be too deep or nothing, actually, no, we're deep on this podcast, but I really do feel like my calling in this life is my voice, whether that's me speaking like this, or me writing a story, or me telling a story through acting. As people know, I'm an actor. I believe that is my calling in this life, and if I have something to say, you get damn well I'm gonna say it. So I'm very, very grateful for for the newcomers of this podcast. And it's just the beginning. I haven't even hit my 10th episode yet. So yeah, there's more to come. Thank you for joining. And I hope you stay on this journey with me, because I'm going to tell you right now, and I'm going to look into the camera when I say this. I am going to be big. I'm not going to be shy about it. I believe I'm going to be big. I believe I'm going to make it. I believe I'm going to blow. So if you were an OG, you know, like, what's up? Like, we're going to be in this together. So yeah. Again, thank you. So we're going to start this episode. The idea of being perceived is not the same thing as being understood. Commonly, people tend to say, I just don't want to be perceived anymore. I just don't want anyone to know me. I just want to do my own thing. The reason why you are so focused on the fact, or you feel like there's a camera on you because people are perceiving you, is because you are so conscious of other people's opinions. You need to understand that you will never know the way that people really see you. You will never know the way that people perceive you. Everybody has different perceptions of you. Perception is a personal experience. People create perception by the things that they see through their eyes. And because you can never see through someone's eyes, you will never understand someone else's perception of you. And in that same way, the perception you have of yourself will never be the same perception that other people have of you. And because you will never know the way that people see you, You will never know the way that people perceive you. The only opinion that matters is your own. The only opinion that matters is your own. People, I feel, are so focused on the way that they put themselves out in the world, that other people's perceptions of you, because they don't see you the way that you see yourself. You're so focused on other people's opinions of you, and that can stop you from being your authentic self. That can stop you from doing the things you want to do. And the more and more I do this, over the past few months, I've gotten so much more comfortable with posting on social media. I remember I went from not even wanting to talk on social media to I only wanted to like post pictures. Like back in the day, I was even afraid to post pictures of myself, and I would delete them after a few days. Then I got completely used to posting pictures. Like when I post a picture of myself, I don't really second guess it that much. I even watch it back a lot because I think I look good. Like I always think I look good. But the reason why I guess I'm not so obsessed over other people's opinions of how I look is because I've gotten to the point of where I like how I look. But that is one thing. And then being able to speak on social media, I only recently, I kind of started getting used to the idea of me speaking on social media. It's only been across these few months that I've gotten a little bit more comfortable with it. I was even scared when I first started this podcast to post clips on my Instagram story, just because of people's ideas of me. What if they think I'm chatting shit? What if they think I'm talking about a whole lot of nothing? What if they don't care? All of these thoughts, because I was focusing on people's perceptions of me. And more, I've decided to let that go. And how I did that was knowing that the things that I'm saying, I wish I had someone who told me this. Before I learned it, I wish I had someone who related or spoke on these topics. So if I'm putting out content that I wish, if I'm creating things that I wish other people would make, I'm going to do it. I'm going to create things that I've always wanted to make, that I've always wanted other people to make. And that's how I let go the perception of others when I'm talking. And I'm still working on it, but I'm getting there. The idea of thinking about the way other people view you definitely comes from insecurity, of course. Like, you are scared of what other people think. You are scared of being seen as cringy or you're doing too much. But anyone who's ever made it has always done too much. They've always been too much. So because I feel like to get to where I want to be, I have to always do too much. I'm always going to do too much. I believe that I don't even think it's being too much. I think it is expressing yourself the way you want to express yourself. And no one who is an artist or no one who has made it to the point of where they want to be hasn't taken that leap to express themselves in the way that they wanted to express themselves. So instead of thinking about the people who are too afraid to do it yourself. Do it yourself. In terms of how I present myself online as well, I think it's because I have created a idea of myself online. I feel like people perceive me in a certain way because of the way I present myself online, of course, and that can translate to when I meet people in person. They think I am someone I'm not, or people who know me from afar, because I think in a non-egotistical way, commonly over the past few years, as I have kind of come to terms with myself and my own style and stuff, people assume that I'm pretty cool, or which I know I am. But people assume I'm a certain way, or people think I'm a certain level of outgoing, or I've been held at a pedestal many times before. I've heard people say things about me to which they are holding me at an expectation that I don't have of myself, or they're holding me at an expectation that I can't reach, because that expectation is perfection. And It's not possible to be perfect. People think I'm a type of way, but I'm not. Like, for example, people might think that I'm really outgoing when as you get to know me, I warm up and then I become a bit more outgoing. But in general, I'm very reserved, and like I said in my last episode, awkward and a bit shy when you first meet me. And I think that might come as a surprise to people. Or they think you can do things that you can't do. And it's definitely happened a lot where people have put me on a pedestal and they've held me at this idea of perfection. And when they really get to know me, they get disappointed. And before that used to make me sad, but really now I don't give a toss. I don't give a toss. It's really not my problem that people are holding me at an expectation that I can't reach. I can't reach perfection because no human is perfect. So people will attempt to hold you what they perceive you by. And that should not be your issue. Like, people will only try and understand you to the level of which they perceive you by. Sometimes people will never really actually want to get to know you. They have a set idea of you that they have in their heads. And when you don't meet that, they resent you or they feel disappointed by you. Anyone who holds you by an expectation that is non-existent, you don't need that in your life. Anyone who does not actually attempt to understand you should not be in your life. And in the same way, you should not hold people to your expectations. Stop holding people to the potential you think they are going to be, or to the expectation that you have of yourself, because they are not you. That's when you start projecting your perceptions of yourself onto other people, thinking that people can mirror you, when really people are their own person. So you need to learn to meet people at where they're at what they present to you, and try and understand who they are. Of course, when you first meet someone, what they present to you, you're going to associate that with something and you'll perceive them in your own way because of your own experiences. And if you are willing, you can actually learn to understand who this person is and break your idea of them, break your original perception of them. But my point is, stop holding people to certain expectations and cut off anyone who holds expectations of you that isn't true. You should never mistake someone's perception of you as your perception of you. I feel like people can project their own opinions of you onto you, and you will start to take those opinions as your own thoughts. But those are not your thoughts. Even sometimes your thoughts aren't your real thoughts. That's one thing I've learned recently, that your thoughts, the thoughts that travel through your brain, are not actually your own thoughts sometimes. This is something I've been obsessed with lately, and it's genuinely helped me. The things you think about yourself, sometimes they are people's thoughts of you. The things that people have said to you, the comments people have projected onto you through their own insecurities, through their own perceptions of you. If you hear it enough times, you're going to believe it. If people tell you that you're not worthy multiple times, you're going to believe it at some point. And you think that is your own thought. You think that is your own perception of you. But I'm here to tell you that that's not true, baby. Baby, that's not true. You need to stop taking people's perception of you as your own. Understand yourself, and you will understand what your real idea of you is. You will understand who you really are. And I think also you got to stop taking people that you used to know's perception of you and viewing it as who you are now. You meet people along the way, and you also lose people along the way. People come into your life and people leave your life. And it takes a long time to accept that, but it's true. And that's why I like to say, anyone who's no longer in my life, they knew me, but they don't know me. Anyone who I don't currently surround myself by knew me, but don't know me. And sometimes what people used to say to you, or what people used to think about you, you can take that as who you think you are now, but that's not true. That's not who you are now. That's who you were before, or that's who they thought you were before. And when people who were around you in the past met you, you were a different person than who you are now. And you are also a different person from when they left your life. Whether they left your life in a good or bad way, the way you reacted to that situation, or what led them to leaving your life, you are different from who you were then. So any bad thing that happened between those people, you shouldn't dwell on the way that they viewed you or the way that it ended. And you shouldn't allow that to hold you back to your future. People's perceptions of you when you are angry or when you are happy in the past, they are not the way that you react when you're happy now or when you're angry now. Because any situation that you have been involved with, you only grow and move from it. So I feel like sometimes people tend to think that they are an idea of something because of the way that they've reacted to things in the past, because of other people's perceptions of them, or the way that they perceived themselves in that situation, whether you felt guilt or you felt like that wasn't the best version of you. You take that perception you had of yourself and you carry it through to your present. And I want you to know that that idea that you had of yourself is not the person you are now. Just because you reacted in a certain way, or you acted a certain way in the past, you were a type of person in the past, doesn't mean that you are still that same person now. People grow, people change. So don't allow other people's perceptions of you in the past, or the perception you had of yourself in the past, to take over your life in the present. That's not who you are. You can only be better. You can only move forward. So stop dwelling on the past. Let go of old perceptions and only focus on who you think you are now. And I think when people have situations like that with friends, with any sort of relationship in your life, familial, romantic, whatever, whether people enter your life, come into your life, or they leave your life, I think when people have arguments with people, I think one thing that I think by the end of it is that no one understood me in that situation. No one attempted to understand me in that situation. Even when you're frustrated with someone and they don't get where you're coming from, I think personally, like something that goes through my brain is that they're not trying to understand me. And that used to frustrate me a lot. Like, why can't people just understand me? Why can't people know all of my lore from the day I was born? Why can't people just understand everything that I have experienced and the reason why I am the way I am now? But no one will ever know that. No one will ever know all the things that you've experienced, all the things that you've been through. The only person that will know that is you. So the point I'm trying to make is that because you are the only person who understands everything you have been through, the only person that really understands you inside out, from your thoughts to the way you move, is you. I don't think anyone will fully understand you. I definitely think there are people in my life who I feel when I am around them, I feel understood. I feel like I said this in my last episode, but I feel like I can be such a good version of myself. I'm not even actively thinking how to act. I'm just being me, and they make me feel understood. They take me for who I am. But at the same time, the people that I do surround myself around now, majority of the people, are not the people I met when I was 5, when I was 10, when I was 15. They are more recent people in my life. Even though they make me feel like I'm at home inside myself, they don't know my past, and they only know what I've told them. They don't know who I was before. that's okay. But my point is that they won't fully understand me. I feel understood, and that's what's good, but they won't fully understand me. And I know that's the case for a lot of people. You know, sometimes you meet people at different stages in your life and they don't know who you were in the past, like they don't know your past versions. And although they make you feel understood, there's aspects of yourself that they don't get yet. And because of that, I just feel that no one will fully understand you because they met you at a point of where you were someone else to who you were before. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, like don't get me wrong, but that's why I'm saying it's important to understand yourself, because you are a person who is full of so much. Like, you have gone through the highs and lows of life, and not everyone knows the highs and lows of your life. People don't know who you are when you're in your room alone. People don't know who you are when you are listening to music, traveling on the way to work. People don't know who you are when you are alone. And because people don't experience who you are alone, people will never experience you fully. So I think it's important to spend time on your own, to learn how to understand yourself, what you like, what you don't like understand your company, fall in love with your own company, and let go of old expectations of yourself, any expectation of yourself. Block out any outside perception of you. Even block out your old perceptions of you and focus on understanding who you are in the present moment and who you want to be. And when you start to do that, you realize that other people's perceptions really don't matter as much. Like I said in the beginning, if I link it to the way we present ourselves online, I stopped caring about what I post in terms of my face because I stopped caring. I started to believe that I had a good face. You will stop caring as much what other people think about you when you fully understand and like you. When you love you, you will stop caring about what other people think. When you take the time to understand who you are, from your flaws to the best parts of yourself, you will really stop caring about what other people think of you. You will really stop focusing on how people perceive you. So I'll go back to the title of this episode. Being perceived is not the same thing as being understood. To be perceived is to be interpreted. When someone interprets you, they are taking parts of you that they think they know and taking parts that they believe they know, and they are coming up with an idea of you. But when you are understood, you are being taken in for everything that you actually are in the present. So my point is, surround yourself by people who take you in, by people who understand you. And most importantly, take time to understand yourself, because no one will fully understand you to the extent that you have the possibility of understanding you. If you really get the time, if you really take the time to learn about yourself and understand yourself, I promise you, you will stop caring about other people's opinions. I promise you, you will really, really understand the potential that you have, the beauty that you are. You will end up, you don't know how good it will get when you learn who you really are, when you learn to understand yourself. So, yeah, that's the end of this episode, guys. This was great. Like, I felt like I was on the flow for a really long time. Again, thank you for anyone who's newly joined this journey with me. It's only the beginning, so thank you for being an OG. Yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this episode. I enjoyed this episode. I enjoyed recording this episode. And yeah, I'll see you for the next one. Okay. Bye.